Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. Today we are having a look at a belt from UK company Warrior Assault Systems. This is the Warrior T1 Tegris or Tegris, however it's pronounced, Tegris, potato, 2-layer belt. Now, as the name would suggest, there's a couple of things in here in the naming convention. First one being, as far as materials are concerned. Now, as we usually do, we'll go through some materials, then we'll have a look at some actual the features of the belt itself. Materials-wise, as from the naming convention, there is some of this Tegris material in this, however you want to call it. So let's just take out the inner belt for a second, because it'll probably be useful because I can show it easier on this. So it is a 2-layer belt system, as most of these kind of tactical belts are nowadays. It means that you can put this on, and then putting this on is easier because this goes underneath your belt loops and this goes over your belt loops, because you wouldn't be able to get it on your belt loops if you got these on here. So the Tegris or Tegris is just kind of a material that is all the way through here. I first saw this a couple of years back at IWA, and there was some manufacturers using it. Since then, the last couple of years, I've seen a lot more manufacturers using this. So the Tegris itself, think of carbon fibre. So if you can see on here, you can see it's almost got kind of carbon fibre strains to it. But whatever the laminators that they use for this, it means that in one direction, it's very pliable and it bends really easily, but in another direction across another plane it doesn't. So what that means is that when you've got this on as a belt, it will hug you perfectly, but when it's on there, although this isn't going to be a good example now because there is a bit of twist in this, but when it's on and you've got this secured down, so when you've got the Velcro on there and there's some actual tension on it, being able to twist that is quite difficult. So that's the inner belt. Now the inner belt works the same way as a lot of inner belts work. So on the inside, there you've got that kind of that Tegris stuff. On the outside, you then have some of their own laminate ballistic nylon. They don't use Cordura, but it's a very similar kind of ballistic nylon to Cordura. And then on the outside of that, you have hook and loop. These are available in a few different sizes, if I remember rightly. I've got this in large. I've got a 36-inch waist, which I'm kind of 35, 36-inch. But of course, this will be on the inside, so you also need to take more of a measurement around the outside of your waist when you've got your clothes on. So really go for like the larger size if you're concerned, if you're kind of between sizes. Putting this on is super simple. So you put it through your belt loops. You almost have a male end and a female end. Your male end here, if you'll look on both sides, so here is where all of the Velcro is, or the hook and loop, and then when you get to the end, got a bit of sweat on this actually, when you get to the end, there's no hook and loop. On the inside of the belt here, you have a female section, so that passes into there, and then you put your hook and loop over that. So you can just wear this. If you wanted to wear this as an everyday belt, you could just wear this as it is. The outside of the belt, again, is very similar to how a lot of these belts look and feel. But what they've done with this is, so hopefully where you can see where the pals laddering on this is, you can see that it has more of this Tegris material in here as well. This also works with a male and female end. So here is your male end, and you know that it's the male end because where you've got this the ballistic nylon laminate on the outside of there, there's none of it on either side. So when you have this on, this pushes into another female, in fact I've got that upside down, it pushes into another female end on here, which is just on the inside. So that pushes into there so that you know that you're in place, and then you close with your buckle here. Now, like with a lot of these, what you'll need to do is when you put it on to know where you want to put your magazines, there is a little bit of kind of working it out. The main thing that you'll need to do is, I've just realised I've got another belt on. If I take this belt off, you've got this belt on, which I'll pass through. So your male end tucks into your female end, you pull this over, and then your hook and loop will just hold on to you like that. As I mentioned, this is actually just a really nice everyday belt, which is why I've got a little bit of sweat in there, because I've not just been wearing this when I've had days skirmishing. I've actually tested this out for everyday use. I've had this on without the mag pouches on here, and I wore it pretty much for a straight month going into the office. No one noticed. I'm in there with a tactical battle belt, and it's just a belt as far as people are concerned. But like with a lot of other similar belts to this, it's just getting used to where you put it on. So on the inside, on the outside of this, you've got your hook and loop, or at least you've got your loop. And then on the inside of here, you have your hook. So you just have to make sure that you put it on, line it on at the back, get it just about right. I think I managed to do it perfectly this time. Put your female part here into your male part on this side, and then if you've got everything right, it should just, which I must have made it a little bit too light, it should just all fit in. Now you do have plenty of adjustment, so whilst you're doing this on here, you have your buckles. So the buckles on here are really nice. They certainly don't scrimp on this. These are genuine Cobra buckles that are made in Austria. So when you've got this on, if I just pass that back into there again and can clip that in. If you're concerned, or certainly if you need to have something that's more like a rigger belt, then that has this feature on here. So I'll get back to that bit. But so you've got it on, and then you've got a pull tab here. So if you need to either make this tighter or you need to make this looser, then you can pull this. And plus on this side, you've got some Velcro to help to keep this tab in place. Now for me, I can definitely go a lot tighter with this if I want to, although that won't fit on me now, of course. But if I put that back to where it was, then it's always going to be in the same place. It's good for this. You certainly get some belts when you're taking them off, the buckles slip, so that when you put it back on again, it's not tight enough and you have to kind of batten it back down again. It's just something as simple as putting this hook and loop on here that holds this tab in place. And on the end of the tab, there's some like Hypalon kind of material, but that's just easy so that it doesn't slip through there. But yes, so you got a genuine Cobra buckle on here, which is one of the ones that you have to pinch both of the tabs to be able to release this. It's nice that they've put a genuine Cobra buckle on here. As far as all of the materials on here, everything feels high end. This Tegris material, whatever it's called, it's appearing in a lot more of this equipment from lots of different manufacturers, and then when you add in to the other materials that they've got on here, again, just feels very high end. I wore it every day pretty much for a month, and you know, it's been fine. I will say, if you're wearing it every day, when you first get this, where the ladder system is, some of these, because this is part of their laser cut range, where it's been laser cut, there's a fine burr on there. So if you're like me and your muffin top doth fold over, you will find that your belly fat rubs on that a little bit, which makes it a little bit sore. The easiest way to solve that, if you've not come across this before, is get some high grit sandpaper, like a 3000 grit or a 4000 grit, and all you have to do is just rub it along the top there, and all of those little sharp plastic burrs that you get on there from the laser cutting just instantly disappear, and it turns smooth. And because it's a 3000 or 4000 grit sandpaper, it doesn't affect any of the stitching on it. Now, you're not going to sit there like that. I literally mean just quickly across there, just like that, and it works perfectly. I say that with this, you get that with a lot of manufacturers, mainly because of the way that the laser etching works for the laser cut parts. But yeah, so everything's very high end. Now, I was mentioning for the rigger side of this, if you're in situations where you need to make sure that you're tethered to something, so you have another little Velcro strap here, and then you have a buckle that you can attach a tether to. The buckles on these are, as I mentioned, these are genuine Cobra buckles. So these are rated to what? I should have found this first. Does it say it? It should say on it. It's something ridiculous. 22 kilonewtons. So that's 2.2 tons. I don't care how much gear you're carrying, you're not going to be way more than 2.2 tons. So yeah, don't worry about that. But when it's not in use, you wrap your Velcro, you wrap your hook and loop around it, put it on there, and it's just out of the way. It's reasonably low key as well. As I mentioned, I wore this into the office every day for a month, and no one noticed. Now, around the inside, there is your hook from your hook and loop. Around the outside, you then have your PALS webbing slots, because this works with Moorlander attachments. I took my my holster, but I had my holster on here, which fits in perfectly. As you'll imagine, though, you do have to take this buckle off to get your holster on there. I use one of the Safariland the belt adapters. You just can't pass this through the belt adapter, but all you have to do is undo this, take that out, put your webbing through here, put the holster on, pass it back through. It's not rocket science. It's a very simple process to be able to do it on. But yeah, again, holster on, nice and simple. And then how I have been running this reasonably minimal. I would normally have a GP pouch on here, and I would also have a dump pouch on here as well. But for the last 2 days skirmishing, I was trying this with the low profile plate carrier that they sent me, and just trying to cut back on things that I'm taking out skirmishing that I probably don't need. It took a bit to get used to not using the dump pouch, but reloading from my belt, as a lot of people do, because it's easier and often faster. I got this on. So this is the thing with these belts, sometimes you just have to remember where it is, because with muscle memory, you want to make sure that your pouches are in exactly the same place every single time. So they're just right for me. So I can reload from my hip. I've got a 9mm. I've got a 5.56 on here. I'm no John Wick. I can't do these super tactical reloads, so there's always a position or point where I can take whatever's on my placard and reload it onto here. Yeah, I'm not that guy, but having this with more of kind of a low profile setup with just, as I mentioned, a Glock mag and an M4 mag, just to be able to you know, reload from here. When I'm not skirmishing, it's lunchtime, we've gone in for lunch, then put the clip back over, and yeah, you know, I'm good to go. If you're enjoying today's content and you'd like to support my channel, the easiest way to do that is hitting that like button and also subscribing. If you choose to subscribe today, I'd like to say thank you and welcome to the community. Now, back to today's featured content. And that's it in a nutshell. Now, as far as these style belts are concerned, now this might sound, I hope this doesn't come across as kind of weird, but you know, they've not done anything that's like ridiculously different, and I don't think they needed to. There's no need to reinvent the wheel when the wheel does an incredibly good job as it is. But what they have done with this is just make sure that what they have built is a solid piece of kit. Using the Tegris stuff in here. If I can put this back in, can I put this back in? It's always good fun with hook and loop, isn't it? That's not right, but anyway, the rigidity that you get out of the Tegris material that's in here is great. Gone are the days where you've just got, say, maybe some like Cordura on the outside, then you've got a bit of plastic kind of membrane that then goes through that, and then you've got just an old-fashioned bit of 50mm webbing. What this does is just provides more of a stable platform, and instead of having 7 or 8, maybe not 7 or 8, but 6 or 7 different layers of other materials, which just adds to weight, which adds to making things feel bulky, they can scale that back. You get something that's still just as rigid as some other belts, but just feels a hell of a lot lighter. And then there's the other things in the fact that, you know, you've got genuine cobra buckles on here. I like the fact that they put this on there to stop the belt from slipping. I will also say that the way in which they've put the pals around the outside, putting these on was very easy. There's just enough give that allows you to thread it through a little bit easier. I think it does also help that with this belt you can fold it backwards upon itself. That makes it a hell of a lot easier. But all in all, as far as belts go, I think the Warrior T1 Tegris double layer belt is another worthy addition. If this is something that you're considering from Warrior Assault Systems, yeah, it gets the Moorlander tactical seal of approval, and I would definitely recommend this if you're thinking of picking one up. Now, full disclosure, I did put this at the beginning. This was sent to me by Warrior Assault Systems. The belt itself, though, the two pouches, these are also from Warrior Assault. I bought these myself. But again, as I do with many of the manufacturers that I work with, we just agreed that all they wanted was some honest content, and hopefully that's what you've got here today. So yeah, so I'll leave some links below so that you can see. Why is my neck so itchy? So you can see more from these. I'll leave some links to the main site as well, obviously, so you can see more of their other products that they do. I'll leave some of my social media links below as well, so you can see more from me here on Moorlander EDC, sorry, Moorlander Tactical, and my sister channel, Moorlander EDC, where I look at more everyday stuff. And whether you're watching this on YouTube or Rumble, as always, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay tactical. What's it called? Can you see my face? Does that help? T1 Tegris belt. So this is a 2-part belt. And I've already started to go ahead of myself. Right, let's take a step back. You're a fucking idiot. You see, it rolls up super small. I can put my face through here. I can get my whole hand in. That's what she said. I hope everybody's good. Hope you're all having a good weekend. If you're out doing pew stuff, don't forget your eyes, your eye pro, your ear pro, and your gloves. Monday morning, we all want 2 eyes, 2 ears, 8 fingers, and 2 thumbs when we go back to work. So yeah, stay safe. See.